Go ahead. Okay, we're all set.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. I'm glad that you were able to join us. This is NJCART's first Hot Topics. It is our hope that this type of format will be interesting to people and easy and convenient to log in and get a half hour worth of good AT information. So you could let us know by going on to the listserv how it worked for you. If you have other topics that you think you might like to learn about, you could let us know. We are hoping that we can do this often throughout the year. And so enjoy this and let us know how it works for you. Okay, Mike is going to take over and do the agenda, and then everybody will have their turn to do their presentation.
Perfect. All right. Today. Sorry, you might have heard my microphone flick itself off. I was just plugging something in. We have a handful of stuff that we're going to go over and talk about tonight. So we'll have several speakers that will jump on. Everybody's hopefully going to be around 5 minutes. We'll see how it goes. I'm mostly talking about myself now. I don't think I'm talking about anybody else except me. But we'll see how the 5 minutes works. At this point, our first speaker, which was Wendy, I don't see her on the call yet. So what we'll do is we'll jump past her for right now, and then we'll come back around when we see Wendy jump in. So what we'll do is we will just pass through her 5 minutes, and we'll jump over to my 5 minutes. And we'll see how I do. Now I have nothing but time now. So hi there. I am the director of the Richard West Assistive Technology Advocacy Center. That is New Jersey's Assistive Technology Act project. So very excited to be here with everybody tonight. I'm going to use my 5 minutes to talk about apps that you can use to make paper accessible. A lot of times, whether it's adults or children, the fact that the use of paper is sometimes a struggle for them if it's individuals with reading disabilities, physical disabilities who might need to interact with materials in an accessible format. We need to find ways to do that. And what's interesting now is we're in a time where we have this optical character recognition technology, which previously lived on computer software programs that involved a computer and a scanner and some software to bridge the gap between those two pieces of hardware. Now we're at a point where these tools live on our smartphones, on our tablets. We've gone from a time where these technology tools were upwards of thousands of dollars for some of the really involved systems. Now we're at a point where we're talking, some of these apps are free. I'm going to show you a handful that are free. Others probably under $10. You can get a really quality app that can produce accessible content for someone in order for them to be successful with whatever it is they need to read or navigate through or interact with. And so the first starting place, which I love, is this idea, and I'm always happy to share this with people because not everybody knows that this will happen. If you take a picture of text with your phone and upload it into your Google Drive, you can choose to open it in Google Docs. So right now you're seeing a quick snapshot of my Google Drive. And so I uploaded a picture. I did a right click on the picture file, or if you're on the Chromebook, a 2-finger tap on the trackpad. I went to open with, and I chose Google Docs. And what you get is you get a Google Doc which has your picture, but underneath it is the OCR from that picture. So as long as you took a good picture, and I think with a lot of these apps, that's the key, is the taking a good picture piece is so critical. As long as you have a good picture with some lack of shadows and some decent light, you get some really good OCR, some optical character recognition. And it's interesting, I saw as I went through it before that some of it started to get a little strange towards the bottom. And I realized that was in my picture where the book wasn't flat. There started to be a shadow there. So it started to break it up a little bit. So that it really goes back to this idea of prepping for your picture becomes so important. But this is right in Google Docs, in Google Drive. So you don't need to do anything else. You don't need to purchase anything else. You don't even need to install anything else. If you're using a the Google apps, you have access to that and you can use that as a solution. Some of the other ones, I just thought I'd give us a handful of ones that could work for us. And so here's a few. Office Lens, it's a nice one out of this group because it is for iOS and Android. It is a free app. You do need to have a Microsoft account, so you need to tie your email to it, but it's one of those apps. You take a picture of a piece of paper, it converts that and it does the OCR, and then you can send that file to yourself as an accessible file. A couple of the other ones on this slide, Prismo Go, which is at the top right, is a free app that will let you grab text out of any picture and then use your built-in text-to-speech to read it. So you can do that. The bottom is two different apps, the Claro Scan Pen, which I'll show you in a video in a second, and the Claro PDF Pro, which is the picture on the left there on the bottom. And really, PDF Pro is a pretty extensive kind of full function app in that you can take a picture of text, it will convert it to a PDF, it will let you annotate it and mark it up so you can highlight, you can draw on the page, you can circle things, you can add your own text in there. So you're talking about a full function. If someone needs access to a paper document but needs to type and needs to hear it read aloud, that will all work on that one app. So that's the Claro PDF Pro. Claro Scan Pen, which is the other app there, is a tool, and let me turn my volume up just a little bit so you guys can hear. And so the idea with Claro Scan Pen is that once you have some print text, you take a picture of the text, the app, once the app has the picture, it scans through, does the OCR, and then simply dragging your finger over the text on the page will let the text be read out loud.
New Jersey and New York finally grew tired of all this fighting and in 1769 petitioned King George to appoint a royal commission to define the boundary.
So hopefully you guys could hear that. I wasn't sure how good the sound was coming through. I mean, talk about a tool that you can use for anyone to have accessibility at the forefront. I use that not just for children in schools, but for adults in the community who need access to text as they're moving through the community. Now I can take a picture of anything I pass and I can have it read out loud to me instantly. Now I can't mark that picture up and I can't do anything else to the text, but I can read it. So it does give me that instant access for text-to-speech. There's an Android version of that, which is free, and there is a iOS version, which is about $6, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's about $6. But a really powerful solution to give you access to text. Before I relinquish the floor, I did want to give a quick plug for our 2018 Assistive Technology Summit, which is happening on September 20th. Back at the conference center at Mercer Community College. So this is our second year. Last year we had about 180 people join us for the day. We had about 25 concurrent sessions throughout the day. The event is free again this year, so ATAC will be absorbing the cost for everyone to attend. So we have a link and you can get your tickets now. It's bit.ly/NJATS18. And that will take you to the tickets. To get your free tickets. If you want to present, we would love to have people as presenters, bit.ly/ATSummit18CFP. So you can submit a proposal as well to present. And that's my time. Thank you. Oh, and look at that. I think I get to keep talking because, well, here, we'll see if Tricia wants to say something. Tricia, you want to say something?
I guess I medicated myself up.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I have I took cough medicine and I have a Halls, so I'll try.
Try for a little bit.
I just didn't want to be annoying and call through the whole thing, but at the moment, I think I might make it, so we'll give it a try. If not, then you can continue for me.
It's a deal.
All right, so I'm doing something on, my name is Patricia Holzman, and I've been a teacher for 33 years for students with mostly low incidence disabilities, and I'm doing a little thing about a note-taking app and why you'd possibly need one. Okay, so if you use a note-taking app, instead of what we would usually use, which would be pads and many, many pads and paper and pens and pencils, if you use a note-taking app, your notes are always with you. So you can have it on your device with you at all the time. You can become more organized. The other good thing is many apps offer the platform access to your notes. So whether you have your tablet with you or your phone or your laptop, you have access to your notes. And there's the extra benefit of being environmentally responsible. So you're not wasting a ton of paper. And also you're not carrying it all around, so that is helpful too. All right, so the app that I'm talking about is that I'm going to highlight here is Google Keep. I don't know if it's blurry on everyone's screen, but it seems to be blurry right now. But I do have 4 notes up there, and if I recall, what they did say was the greenish blue one is a checklist. So you can make a checklist on Google Keep. So as you make a checklist of maybe what you need to do for a week, you can check it off right there on the app. You don't have to open it. You'll be able to check each thing off. Also, if you have things that are more important, you can pin them. So those things always stay on the top. So you know those are the things that you're going to get to first. You can color code them. So if you are a student in college and you have personal things, doctor's appointments, but you have academic things that you want to take care of, you can put all the academic things in yellow. You can also collaborate in real time. So I don't think you can see this here, but over here, there is a collaboration, and you can share your notes with someone else, and they can add to your notes. You can set reminders. You can not only set a reminder for time and date, you can set a reminder for a place. So if you are, again, a college student, if you are a college student who has some type of disability, or any, I should take that back, because anyone could use help being more organized. Maybe you need a reminder when you get near a place, you can set that. So if you're a college student, for example, and you need to make an appointment with one of your advisors, and you can't seem to remember them, you can have this remind you when you're on campus. Or maybe you need to buy computer paper. So when you're in the neighborhood of a store that you generally buy your stuff at, you can get a reminder that way. So you can add your notes from your phone. When you go home, you open up Google Keep, you'll see them on your desktop. You can also add pictures. So you can have photos added to your notes as so it's free. Google Keep is free to download. It's great for organizing your academic and personal life. It's good for simple organization, checklists, and note-taking. So it's not going to take a great deal of notes. It's really for your quick notes, your reminders, your checklists. It's a multi-platform web app, so you can use on your iPhone, your Androids, Windows, laptops, Chromebooks, you name it. I think it's colorful and easy to use.
Yep.
What's this is just like, if you don't like that one, find one that works for you. Examine all the free note-taking apps first. Decide what you're looking for, what looks appealing visually to you, because it should be for you. Personally, for me, if something's visually pleasing, I'm more apt to try to learn how to use it. So find out what has all the bells and whistles for you. Some other ones to look at are like Evernote, Microsoft OneNotes, and Simple Notes. So I think that about covers it.
Nice.
Unless someone has something to add. And I made it through without coughing.
Very nice. That was awesome. Very good. Thank you. All right. Good job. Stephanie, let me give you control of the screen. Let me stop sharing. All right. You should be able to take over the screen. Wendy, I see you came on. What we'll do is we'll circle back around to you.
I also wanted to. Oh,
sorry, you were muted. Sorry about that.
Okay. Everybody hear me now?
Yeah, now we're good.
Okay, good. Hi, everyone. My name is Stephanie Talai, and I am the technology coordinator at the A. Harry Moore School. And like Trish, I also wanted to talk about a tool that I use for organization. I know that many people struggle with organizational skills, and this is something that has not only kept myself organized, but also my family organized, and it's simply just Google Calendar. You can see that here's a picture of my Google Calendar. You can view it either by the day, by clicking over here. You can view it by the week, the month, the year, or you can also view a schedule where you would have a schedule of everything that you have for the day. If you come over here to the settings, you can also choose your the language you like it in, your time format, your time zone, and another thing that you might find helpful is on the day of the week. So I like to start my day of the week on a Monday, but you could also choose a Sunday or a Saturday. You can have a custom view of 7 days, or if you only want to do a couple of days a week. The other thing I like about Google Calendar is the ability to share a calendar. So over here you can see that, I'm going to put this back on the week, that my calendar is up here, but you can also see that the other members of my family have the ability to share their calendar. So if my son who is in college, if I wanted to see where he was during the day, he also has his calendar here, and this will tell me like what classes that he's in, or would also remind him when he needs to be in class. And you know, he would get a pop-up on his phone and I would get a pop-up on my phone if I set the notifications, you know, where he was and where he needed to be. A nice feature that they also have for Google Calendar now is the ability to add an event right from Google itself. You can either do this from your phone or from the Google desktop, and you can type it, or if you hit the microphone button, you can actually speak it right in there. So I have a pre-thing that I'm going to put in here. And I just put make an appointment with Lisa on June 6th at 1 o'clock. And if I hit enter, you'll see here it says create the event. So if I hit create the event and I go back to my calendar, and you'll see that right here it popped up. So I have the meeting set right in there. And again, you could do that either from anywhere in Google, or you can do it directly from your phone by just typing or speaking. You have the ability over here to change everybody's calendars. So if you wanted them to come up on different colors, I can change mine to red if I wanted to, or to orange, and then everyone's calendar will show up in a different color so that you'd be able to easily discern what's going on. If you're going to add, a nice thing about adding events here is you can add your events right from the screen, and then if you wanted to make more options, one of the things that I often do is I add a location to where I'm going. So if we were going to Radio City, Music Hall, for a play, then when I go to my phone, and this would pop up on my phone, and then when I clicked on the event and I clicked on the location, that would automatically open up my Google Maps, and I could just click directions, and I can use my phone as a GPS to go right to the location. So I don't have to search for it. It's already in my calendar. What else? Oh, another thing, you can, if you go over here to settings and you click on your settings and you go over here to general. Oh, click on a calendar and go to general notifications. You can scroll down here and you can email yourself a daily agenda of everything that you need to do for the day. So every morning you will get a reminder, it says here at 5 a.m. of all your events that you have to do for the day. So that's just some of the things that that you could do with Google Calendar to keep yourself organized and be where you have to be.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can you give me the screen back?
I sure can.
I'm so needy. I just need to. Okay. That's better.
There you go. That's you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Now we'll go to Andrew. So I'm also the clicker for you, but I'll turn you. Oh, good. You got yourself turned back on. All right.
Yep, I do. So my name is Andrew Becker. I am currently working on my own as chairman of A Step Beyond the Classroom. I'm an AT specialist. Used to work for FRA, but now working independently. The background on the therapy mouse primarily was based on the need for students who did not have total control with their extremities to be able to move the mouse around the screen. So primarily what I'm going to go over tonight is what is it, how is it installed, and what computer system is it available on, the use of the therapy mouse, and contact information for them. Go ahead, Mike. Okay. Therapy mouse primarily is a low-cost motion-sensing wearable pointing device. So it actually, if you look at the picture that's on the bottom of the screen, primarily you'll see that on the arm is a wristband, and in his left hand is the clicking mechanism. Now, this actually has two different pieces to it. You can actually use a clicker, a hand clicker, or you can use dwell if they have difficulty using their extremities, whether that's hands or whatever. Primarily, has it installed, you simply plug it into your computer, attach the sensor to the desired body part using the, they have a slap wristband, and they also have a headband as well. So you can actually use it for head motion as well, like a head mouse. You can see that on the right-hand side, the clicker piece is there, the interface to the computer, as well as the sensor that connects to the computer. On the left-hand side, you can see that you can actually use a switch instead of the clicker. You can use, somebody can use a switch to click on to actually activate the mouse mechanism. So primarily, how you use it, you're moving the desired body part, and the computer pointer will move with it. The mouse clicks and selections can be performed either with the therapy mouse clicker, which is the hand clicker, or any other assistive switch, or with Dwell software. And you can see in the pictures that the wristband is sitting on is on the left-hand side, and the headband is on the right. Now, it is rather difficult to maneuver it around the screen. It takes time and practice in order to make it functional. And as far as the contact information is concerned, they're a company called Lightgate. Primarily, they're located in Tempe, Arizona. Their phone number and email, Ryan Smith is part of customer support, and their website is sitting there. And the approximate cost is about $300.
Excellent. Thank you. You beat me to it. I was just about to say, how much does that cost? Very good. Thank you.
Sure.
Excellent. All right. Now, Wendy, are you ready? I'll cycle back to you. Let's see. Wendy, you there? I see you in the list, Wendy, and I see your microphone is not muted. So maybe it's muted on your end. Ah, hello?
Yes.
There we go.
Phew. Okay.
Ooh.
Hi, I'm Wendy Thompson, and I'm also a special education teacher from the A. Harry Moore School here in Jersey City. And I'm here tonight to talk to you about speech to text or voice to text apps. Mike, can you hit the next one for me?
You got it. There you go.
Okay. Ooh, didn't realize that was so small. Okay. What I wanted to do is just give you a quick run through of what I consider the best software on an Android, Apple, or Google or Windows that deals with speech to text. There are different versions out there, but I think really the built-in versions on each of the devices or each of the platforms works better, and it's what I call the best of things. It's free. Once you buy the program or you're using Google or you have a Windows or Apple device, you can use, I'm sorry, Mike's next screen.
Sure.
You can use the voice typing in Google Docs. And I have to give Mike credit for telling me about the voice typing in Google Docs. And I've been trying it out a lot since, I think it's been about 2 weeks ago that Mike introduced it to me, and I really like it. It does have a sharp learning curve, but once you get the hang of it, it does fairly well what you expect a voice to text or speech to text app to do for you. You speak into your microphone and it types out what you want to say. It cuts down a lot on your time on task because you can speak, or at least I can speak a lot faster than I type. Uh, if you're on an Apple device, Siri has a dictation function that does a similar thing as voice typing in Google. It just takes a little while to figure out actually how to get to Siri's dictation function, but I included uh, I included a link for each one that shows you how to set it up on your device. Cartania for Windows speech recognition, I think it's there, but I think it has further to go as far as ease of use than the other two services. Um, it, when you look at the apps, I found just press record to be the easiest. It has almost $5 cost, but it does a lot for you. It allows you to use it in multiple apps, which is something that a lot of them don't. You can use it in different applications, not just in a note-taking app or in a word processing app. So just press record is a good one to look at on iOS, and in Google or Windows, speech notes. It's free. It does the same thing as just press record, but it gives you just the option of doing corrections to your dictation while you're actually dictating. And so that's a nice feature. You don't have to wait and go back and find that spot and redo it. Um, Next screen, Mike. And just when you talk about speech to text, I think there are just a few things that you need to remember. That it's still relatively early stages in learning to use this on a general basis. It's been utilized more with Dragon than with anything else, but the general public is really getting into using it. And with that being said, it's getting better and better. Find out what works for you. Some apps work better than others. Some pick up your voice and your rate of speech quicker. Um, I like free because I'm cheap like that. So always try the free versions first, especially when you're learning. Um, and practice makes for the ridiculous. Some of the things that it will type out from what you say, it's just really ridiculous. But I love it. And take your time and learn the app, and then give it a chance to really learn your voice, your rate, your tone. And I think you'll find that it really can be really freeing for someone who may have physical issues with writing, or you just want the speed of talking versus the labor of writing or typing. So that's my take on speech to text.
Very good. Thank you, Wendy.
You're welcome.
All right. That is everybody. Joanne, you want to wrap us up? You make sure you're unmuted.
Ready?
Yep, there you go.
Okay, well, I hope everybody enjoyed this evening. I hope everybody takes away some useful information. I know I did myself. Mike, to get the recording of this, is there any specific, requirements, or is it?
So what we'll do is, for everybody on the call right now, and for anybody later, we will upload the recording onto our website. So keep an eye on our website, and we will put the recording up. Maybe tomorrow at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll also have links and some info, I hope, for future events like this. Hopefully we can make this a pretty regular event.
Yeah, that's the hope. And so with that said, if anybody has some suggestions as to what topics they would like to see covered, please email it to the listserv or to any NJCART member, and we will put that into the list, and hopefully we'll be providing some of these quick webinars more often.
Great. Excellent. Thank you, everybody. It was a pleasure, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yes, have a good evening.